Ireland have just released their team for their game against England this weekend for the Six Nations, and honestly my first reaction is it's a very strong team. They've made some really good changes, there's some really good selections, and I think all these selections that Andy Farrell has made will really benefit the team this weekend. It's a must-win game for both teams, and I probably think this will be the game of the weekend. It's probably the most important game this weekend. I'd say this game and then the Italy vs France game, probably the two most important games this weekend, and I'm really excited for this one. And seeing this team just makes me even more excited as well. Of course, I will be doing a preview for both teams to kind of analyze what I think they'll do, my predictions, how I think the game will go, a bit of a combined team as well, but that's a video coming out after this one a little bit later today, so stay tuned for that one. And before we do get into it, guys, if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. We've now surpassed 1,000 subscribers. So thankful for all the support, honestly. But let's get right into it. So at number 1, they've gone for Jeremy Loughman. Number 2, Dan Sheehan. Number 3, Tide Furlong. So they brought Tide Furlong onto the starting lineup this week. Number 4, Joe McCarthy alongside James Ryan at number 5. They've brought Tide Byrne back into the starting lineup at number 6 to replace Cormac Izuchukwu. Number 7, they've brought Josh van der Flier back. That's a big name to have back in the team. He's going to look to really make his mark this weekend and keep that number 7 jersey as his going forward. Number 8, they've made Caelan Doris move from number 7 to number 8. I think that's a smart decision, although I do really like Jack Conan in this team. He's a very, very good player, but I think he's got a good role off the bench as well. Number 9, Jamison Gibson-Park comes back into the starting lineup. And number 10, Jack Crowley gets given the number 10 duties for this game. Sam Prendergast is completely dropped out of the team. I know some Irish fans will be happy with that, others maybe not. I do think the Sam Prendergast experiment isn't over yet. I think he's still got time left. He's a young player. Even if you're looking past 2027 and future tournaments as well, he'll be there for a long time. He has time to develop still, but I think right now, if you do want to win this game, I think Jack Crowley is the perfect guy at number 10 for Ireland. At number 11, they've gone for James Lowe, who I thought had a really good game last week. He actually influenced the game in a lot of ways. His attacking is really good. Obviously not the fastest winger in the world, but he does impact the game in other ways. On the other side, at number 14, they've gone for Robert Balakoon, who I thought had an awesome game last week and really deserved that Man of the Match award. He changed the game for Ireland completely. He is such an athlete. He can finish off tries that other people can't. He's a really good guy under the high ball. He's very good in the aerial battle, and that's going to be key this week, especially going up against the likes of Henry Arundel and Tommy Freeman, who are very good under the high ball as well. So that was a very good selection there from Andy Farrell. Number 12 and number 13, they're sticking with Stuart McCloskey and Gary Ringrose. Gary Ringrose hasn't really been at his best recently. He's going to try get back to his best this game, and hopefully he does, because he's a very important player for Ireland. Of course, I think Robbie Henshaw is injured right now. That's why he's not playing. Otherwise, I thought he would have probably been brought in by now. But I mean, Gary Ringrose is a good player. He just needs to kind of execute on some of his decisions, because some of his decision making is good, but he just hasn't had the skill set recently to kind of execute those decisions at the level you'd like. But it's going to be a big game for him, going up against the likes of an Ollie Lawrence as well. That's going to be a tough one, but I think the centre battle this week is going to be a very key matchup. But I'll also speak about all the key matchups and where I think Ireland might get the better of England this week, and where I think England might get the better of Ireland this week in my preview video coming out later. Number 15, Jamie Osborne. I mean, he's been solid in the backfield. He's a perfect guy to have in this team right now. And he's probably the one guy that, even if he has a below average game or a bad game, it's still a good game. And he's a very consistent player with a calm head on his shoulders. And I think Ireland needs this right now. On the bench, the replacements, number 16, Ronan Kelleher, he's been really good recently. I know I was calling for Tom Stewart to get a start or some game time, but maybe against Wales he will. But right now, Ronan Kelleher has been a really good guy to have on the bench. Number 17, Tom O'Toole, and number 18, Finlay Bealham makes his way back into the squad. That is a huge addition for Ireland this week, having Tide Furlong in the starting lineup and Finlay Bealham on the bench. I think those are two world-class props, both British and Irish Lions as well, that can make a big impact. And at scrum time, I think Ireland do need it right now, because England maybe will be targeting that area of the game. I think England have a very good scrum right now, and they're going to be relying on that set piece and good scrum to try get some dominance against Ireland. But I mean, you can't really go wrong if you have Tide Furlong and Finlay Bealham in the team. So I think when Tide Furlong does come off, I think he'll play like 50 minutes maybe. He is coming back from injury now. Then they'll bring Finlay Bealham on. He's fresh, he's ready to go, and he's going to look to try and make his mark as well. I know these Irish guys are probably not happy with how they've been scrummaging the last few weeks, and they're going to try come back with a bang this week. Number 19, Nick Timoney. Number 20, Jack Conan. So they've also gone for a 5-3 split this week, which I actually do think kind of suits the game plan and the style of play for Ireland. They are the type of team, not exactly like Scotland, that tries to run it from everywhere, but Ireland are a run-first team before a kick-first team. That's why I was quite surprised against France when they kicked a lot of possession away. Of course, they still do have a lot of kicks in the game, and I do think Ireland is the type of team that kind of tries to find an answer first, or try break through a team's defense before trying to kick, whereas England, on the other hand, might be more of a 2 plays, maybe kick it on the first play, you get the ball back. They don't want to play with the ball at all. But Ireland is the type of team that likes to play a bit. They like to try things out. And I think a 5-3 split does suit Ireland, especially if they do play a lot of backline ball. They play really quick rugby. And I think going from a 6-2 to a 5-3, they're kind of playing to their strengths as opposed to kind of challenging what England may be bringing. So this is actually a sign of a confident decision from Andy Farrell and the coaching staff. So obviously Nick Timoney and Jack Conan, not any locks there. I mean, maybe Jack Conan can move to lock later in the game, but obviously you have Tyburn at number 6 who can play lock, and I think he probably will later in the game, depending on who comes off between Joe McCarthy and James Ryan. I mean, they can do anything with that forward pack. They have a very versatile forward pack, and I mean, Josh van der Fleer can play number 8 as well. Caelan Doris can play number 7 or 8. Nick Timoney is a phenomenal player, and he's been really good off the bench, so I'm glad he's also getting another opportunity. But I mean, 2 loose forwards on the bench is quite interesting, but it just shows the versatility that the forwards have in the starting lineup. Now on the bench, the backline players, Craig Casey, number 21, gets dropped from the starting lineup last week. I have been saying, though, I do like Craig Casey as a bench player. There are some players in international rugby that I prefer playing from the bench than I do them starting. He'd had an okay game last week in the starting lineup, but I do think he can impact the game in a really good way, especially if the game opens up in the second half, in the second half of the second half as well, the last quarter of the game. I think he's a guy that can really have positive impacts in the game later on rather than early on in the game, where Jameson Gibson-Park is a perfect guy to get you to 60 to 65 minutes and really build a base to work from. I think Craig Casey's a perfect guy to have on the bench. Obviously, I'd like to see Nathan Doak get a start or a bench, or some sort of game time, but I think he will against Wales, and I can't wait for that because he's one of my favourite players in Ireland right now. Number 22, Kieran Frawley makes his way back into the 23, and this is going to be a relief for some fans. I know a lot of fans really rate him highly. I also do rate him quite highly as well. He's a very versatile player. He can play 10, centre, fullback, wing. He can play all over the park, and he's the perfect guy to have in this team right now because he can play everywhere. Honestly, he can. To be honest, if there was so many injuries in the forward pack, you could probably put James Lowe at flank as well. I mean, he's big enough, he's slow enough. No, I'm just joking. He's a good player, but he could probably go there as well if he really needed to. But I think Kieran Frawley coming back into the 23 was a very good decision from the coaching staff. He's going to try and make a big impact, and he's going to try and make his way back into the 23 on a consistent basis. Number 23, Tommy O'Brien, another good player from Leinster. Didn't really get the call last week to play. Obviously, he played okay against France. Didn't really go his way, but I mean, France were just putting their foot down on the pedal the whole way through. They were absolutely awesome in that game, and they didn't let Ireland really do anything. So giving him another opportunity to show himself. I mean, he has shown himself before, but I think the likes of a Craig Casey, a Kieran Frawley, and a Tommy O'Brien can really make a good impact in the second half. But now overall, looking at the team, they've obviously taken out the likes of a Cormac Uzuchukwu, Edwin Adogbo, but I do think those guys will get more game time and more opportunities going forward. I also think a guy like Jacob Stockdale will probably play against Wales, and I think whoever wins this game, it's interesting because if Ireland win this game, I expect them to probably go with a team like this for the foreseeable future in the tournament. But if they do lose this game, then I see them probably just throwing a lot of new guys in and giving guys some experience and some game time in the other games as well, mixed with the experienced players. But I do hope for Ireland's sake for the Ireland fans' sake, that they can get a win for this game. It's going to be a very interesting one. I will be doing a preview with my predictions. There's obviously a lot to play for in this game. I mean, whoever wins can kind of keep selecting their strongest team throughout and try to play for a win in the Six Nations. Obviously, it depends on how France does and if someone can beat France. I mean, maybe Italy or Scotland or England down the line. But if whoever loses this game, they actually lose a lot. I mean, they don't get to play for the Six Nations. Their fans start to worry about how they're playing. But also, I think whoever loses can have the luxury of probably playing more experimental players and more experimental combinations in the games to follow. But I mean, this is a really strong team from Ireland. No Edwin Adogbo, no Cormac Uzuchukwu, no Jacob Stockdale. I think those guys will get more opportunities in the other games, probably against Wales. That's probably the game they're targeting to give guys some game time, and maybe some of the games in their Southern Hemisphere tour later this year. I think they're playing in Japan they're playing Australia, New Zealand, and it's either Japan or Fiji. Maybe in one of those games they'll also give guys some experimental game time. Those are going to be tough games, but this is a very strong Irish team, and to be honest, right now they probably look like the favourites if you just look at the team sheets. But I mean, England's going to try bounce back. Ireland are going to try show their fans that they want to play, that they can play, that they still are at that top 3 level, because recently they haven't really been showing it. But it's a very strong team. Very, very happy to see Jack Crowley at number 10, and I think Jameson Gibson-Park's also going to make a big impact there. Robert Baloucoune, probably my favourite player in the Ireland team right now. Tyburn, the best forward, deserves to start. Ireland have a good team, but it's going to be a very tough game on Saturday. This is the game to watch for the weekend, but if you guys do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.